Hi everyone, good morning. So today we're going to start the topic that's the piping and redirection. After that we will see the file system, Linux file system permissions. So let's quickly understand what do you mean by inputting and output. Then we will go for the redirection. So suppose for input and output system, standard input and output system, we supposed to understand. Means I'm going to take right now for redirection. Redirection, you have to understand the command structure. So suppose we have this is called cell from where your command going to be input. Your command going to be input. So this command what you going to input, this is called standard input. This is called standard input, the command which you going to input. Now after the cell going to be processed with those input command is going to be processed and it will give you output that is called standard output. please be please concentrate on this point because this is going to use same concept entire your Ansible coding. This standard input, standard output, and if something is wrong or something error from the cell they given, that going to be called standard error. So you will see how we're going to set these things into the Ansible coding. Today you concentrate what is the command syntax. If you're going to punch any command, so what is the syntax of command? So we already studied that. That's a command name itself. You are giving command name, you have command name and followed by the some options, either options, and then followed by the options you have followed by the command line argument. So you have three things: first command itself, then followed by the options. Option having two way, either going to be the short form or the double dash followed by the long form, and then you have argument, command line argument. So options may be multiple options. I saw the example, I will show you the example so that it's going to be revision again. And then argument, that's called command line argument. So this, the command and followed by the argument or only the command, this is called standard input. This is called standard input. What about argument? Argument, let me take another color. Argument, this is blue line. Command line argument, that's a command line. Command line argument, this is blue line. This is not comes under the standard input. So if someone going to ask you what is the standard, what do you mean by standard stream? If someone telling you what do you mean by standard stream, so it's very easy to see that wherever the standard word is coming, like standard input, standard output, and standard error, this comes as a one single word that is called standard stream. Okay, and the command argument, command line argument is the separate, which is going to be add, and the your output going to be depend upon those argument, the modified output. Sorry, sorry guys. So let's see quickly example. What do we have here? Okay, so we are going for example sum. Let me open one terminal quickly and let's see example. I'm taking a very small example that is called cal. Cal itself is a command. There is no argument, there is no option. without anything, just I'm entering the command cal, it's have a specific output. So cal is a is whiteboard. Whiteboard is opened. Okay, no, and then I will go to the come to this. So here you understand this, the what is input here, this is the only input here. Input is cal, and this is called standard input, this is called standard input, and the output which is came here, this is called standard output. Okay, this is standard output. Now standard input can be with the option. So how we going to give that? That going to be that going to be like this. I'm not so happy in this tool. Now it's supposed to. Let me quit. Okay, so suppose you have cal some option, like I'm looking for the option A for a specific month after 1 month, also including that. So you can see we have January and the February, the output. So this is also called standard input. Options come under the standard input. Suppose I'm not doing for the options, I'm going to punch as a command line argument. So command itself is cal, the command line argument I'm looking for the this 2022 calendar or 2025 calendar. So this is the argument, because argument do not follow the any dash, single dash or double dash. So this is the complete output. So your output going to divert completely if you are going to use the any command line argument. So this is contain the standard input as well as command line. Okay, but your output will be either your standard output or standard error. Okay, Astos, I understand the what is the standard output. What do you mean by standard error? So suppose, let me clear this screen. We have date, and there is, this is standard input, this is called standard output. What do you mean by standard error? If you are giving date followed by the some blah option command line, it's not right command line, but you given what is the output, this is error, standard error. This is called, this is error we know, but this is what they reflect over here. That is called standard error. Clear guys till here? So standard input, standard output, and standard error. Now you understand what is the meaning of that. Let me go for my. So we have three things we studied: standard input, we have studied three things. First, that is called standard input, and standard input is use a number, index number, that is called 0, and standard output use as a index number as a 1 and standard error used as an index number as a 2. These things shows you what you're going to do. And the redirection, this is used, this index by the redirection. So we're going to study the redirection. How you going to do the redirection of the output? Which one you want to do redirection? Redirection having two key features, greater than and less than. Here it's not a meaning of greater than less than. This is the directions where what you want to do. So this is so for output. This greater than is used for the output, means output and error. If you draw the box, you have output and error. So this is used for the output and error, this symbol. And the first one symbol, this symbol shows as a, this is for input, this is. So let's do some example and we will understand what do you mean by redirection and what's the use of redirection. So let's close this. So understand. So redirection help you, even you are not created any file, it's going to automatically create for you file. Suppose very simple, I have det command, I want to, so det itself is a inputting, I'm giving input, standard input. I want to redirect, so I will use the command for redirection, means output I want to redirect. So as soon as I will give this symbol, means I am going to output को redirect कर रहा है. We are doing the output redirection. So what output? Whether we want to which one? So either 1 means my output, or suppose I am going to do output.txt. Okay, this is one file what I want to redirect my output in that. If I want to do error also redirection, I will create error.txt. So see, in this command I'm doing first one output redirection, second if any error redirect. I have not created any file yet, error.txt or output.txt, but it will create that file and it will store those outputs. Okay, so let's enter that. I entered, but there is nothing printed over there, means the output is not printed here, it's redirected to the output txt. If there is an error, it will redirect to the error txt. Let's check whether it's a redirect or not. So lsl, I will check my, there is two file. One is error txt automatic created, and there is another file called output txt created. So let's check it out whether it is created there or not. So I'm going to go home directory and the file called error txt. If I open the error txt, there is nothing, means there is no error. But if you open the output txt, where is the output txt, there is a date and everything redirect. So do you understand, your output not going to print on the screen, it's going to be redirected and stored in some specific file. So if I will run this command for the error like blah, I will run this command with the argument with the blah, so it's supposed to give the error, right? Of course it will not print on the screen because this is standard error. It will go to my text error.txt. let's understand whether we, so if you open the error txt, it's the error came into the on that file. Okay, invalid that. But what about my output? There was no output. You can see, I will reload this, there is no output and the previous data is erased. So how we want to store the previous data also, that's the next level. How we have to install, because every time they're going to erase the previous data. So for that we have to do appending, means if we have some data earlier, you should not remove that, you should append. So redirection help you in that. Let's do the double. That means this symbol is called, if you do double greater than, okay, it's going to give you the, that you're going to store as you're going to store in the same file with the not a new content, it's a append one. Let's say we have error already, okay, so there is again error supposed to come with the new line, then it's going to be append. So I'm going to enter, and my error is redirected. I'm going to open the reroute. You can see the earlier data is this, and again error, it's not erased the previous data. What about the content? If you write this blah, let me remove the standard error, I want to capture the standard output. So I will print twice, thrice, 4 times, and this is the 5 time. Let me see, in my file it's supposed to come on the 5 time, because it's appending every time. You can see that the every time second is change. So this redirection, we have two keyword. Oh, we want to store, what is use of storing the error message also while you are doing coding. This output we are expecting, what is the error we are not expecting. There is no method to learn error. Once you understand the what is the error, you can troubleshoot accordingly where we are doing the missing stuff. So error, standard error is a very important stuff to capture and understand, automate, and you going to work toward where we have to do the fix, where we need to fix the, where it's a break. So error is also important. Sometimes error is going to be, most of 99% is a blank, but we should store. Okay, if we do the redirection, because redirection there is nothing going to print on your terminal. Okay, this is one thing. Second, let's about, what about also the input? Can I redirect my input? So you can see the challenge here, you are doing your inputting here, but I don't want to do inputting from the here, means I don't want to input date as here. Okay. So let's do, what I will do, I will create my one input by redirection. I'm redirecting this data in one file that is called date.txt. Okay. Date.txt will be the my input. I'm just giving the name as a input. Okay, I have created one input file. Let's see, input file is created. So I have created one input file. So I can see my input file is created. Yes, this is, and there is a date. Now this is my input. How? So you can use, so what I will do, I will cat, I want to see what is my input. So you can less than, you supposed to use less than, and the 0 followed by the 0, followed by the 0 and less than, because inputting having 0 index. By default there is only one thing is inputting, so you can either give 0 or not. This symbol is more than enough. It's a default behavior as an input. Either you use like this or you use without 0, the meaning is same. Now come to the your input. I'm giving my data as an input. Okay, so cat going to see this and then do grep. Sorry, let's see what is the input. Cat is telling your date. Here date I'm not giving the command, just so cat command having input, you supposed to accept the input from the data, from the input file. So this is the input. Suppose I want to input and redirect this as an output file as a date, because I know that this file having date. So you understand, the the cat is going to take the input from home, from input.txt by the symbol x, and is going to print the data in the output that called date.txt. So nothing going to be happened. Either I'm not punching any input here, neither output I'm going to see here. Everything in file means they took the cat taken the input from the input txt and they redirect to the output dot date txt. Okay, that's awesome. So let's check it out. Date txt, do we have lsl, we have date txt or not? I'm dead. We can see that cat date txt, and you can see, let me clear the screen first so that you. So now we have output as a date. Same way you can append the multiple input. That's a very rare use, but we have. Yeah. Clear till here, guys? Clear?
Yes, Ashok, one question.
Yes. You
Okay,
be
so
little loud.
okay, yeah. Ashok, the cat is standard command, right?
Yes, cat is
Okay,
standard command.
okay. So if we use a greater than symbol with the cat, so I think it's not created the separate file. Other it's giving the standard output on the screen itself, I think.
Okay, that's a different case. I'm just coming on that. Okay, very good questions. Okay, so here till here clear. Let me come on
Yeah.
this scenario. What he asked me. So cat having different features. Let me remove this cat mean for a certain moment. Let me do more command, more input, because if you give more, they are not giving anything. They did not ask this. Means more having input as a, I can, instead of cat I'm using input data for more. It's a printing because it's taking the word from mode is taken, and then it's going to give the date, mm, using more, using more command, and that .txt, it will redirect to that. What's more having the input with the file, but the cat fundamentally they have with the different options also. Let's understand the command structure here. So how we will understand the command structure? By using the man, and I will give you what doing. What is the actual command structure of more? More is saying that you have to follow the option. You need a file always. You can see in description, you need always file, then only it can read. But if you can see in the man structure for the cat telling that, bro, if you don't have any file, with the no file, if you not given any file, it will take automatic standard output concatenated with the standard output, and this read going to be happened on standard input if there is no file. So Naval, you ask me, Astos, I will give cat and enter. This give you hang on the screen means if there is no file, they will ask you give me the standard importing. That's a different fundamental difference from the more and cat. So if you write, let's write down Linux is amazing. Linux is amazing. This is the input I given, and standard input, it will give you standard output. The cat is giving whatever you type, it will take as a standard output, and after the entry it will give you standard output. So standard input and standard output, it's a cat command accepting. How we have to break this? By control C. So this cat having a special feature of standard inputting and standard output. But for more, if you see the more command, if you enter, oh no, you need a file, you need a something as a input, then only I am able to give you output. So this is fundamentally different. Now what I want to do, cat is a very good features here. By using these features, because they have a standard inputting system and a standard outputting system inbuilt in the cat, so I can create one file, redirect my, suppose I want to create one file. So what I will do, I will do the touch command first for creating one file, then editing with that file I have to do what, either we have to use nano or I have to use the vim. You have to do these two things, but cat going to give, because of this standard inputting and outputting system he has inbuilt, so you can, no need to do touch command, you can create any file. Like let me create one new file, and that's I will give new file for today's days, new file.txt. So I have not created using touch file, but is going to create the file, and it will allow you to give some content in that due to the standard inputting and output inbuilt. Now what you want to type, let's type Linux is really amazing, and that's all. Let me do this. Let's see that the file is created or not. ls, I can see the file is created, that is called new file here, and I want to see the content, so I will use more command here to watch the content. That's called new file txt. Linux is amazing, but I want to add in this more content, so you can do the cat redirection twice, and the new, sorry, that's called new file txt, and I will, whoa, it's working, it's working. And I will break this, control C. Let's see the file, what happened to this. Whoa, it's working, means you can do the redirection, use, no need to create the file, you can add it one liner. Okay, here guys, or you can copy paste something you want. Here, this is the, because of fundamental behavior of the cat command allow you to create, sorry, it's allow inbuilt, they have, it's have inputting and outputting standard input and output inbuilt. Due to that you can able to create anything, modify and add it. That's why cat is a very popular command in Linux. Then more is a pure viewing file system, but that's a very powerful, having pager and yeah, they can, but cat again, but it's very good. I am very comfortable with the cat and more both the command. So redirection, let me see, I given you the PDF, what are the everything I have covered in redirection. Okay, redirection, we have one new thing, that is not new thing, it's a very interesting thing I just want to add here. TTY. Do you know TTY? What is TTY means, where we are, in which terminal. Suppose we have multiple terminal. Let me open the multiple terminal. We're going to, so I opened the three terminal. You can see there's a, I open the three terminal, and if you do each terminal TTY, they have different, like 2 and TTY 1. So you can see numbering TTY 0, TTY 1, TTY 2. So I want to redirect my content from the one terminal to second terminal. So you can do that. That's a beautiful feature do you have. So what is a redirection? How we can, suppose this file I want to redirect. So how we have to redirect? So you have the file cat, that my input is what, my new file. I want to redirect this to output to the my terminal. So let's go for, that's that called dev, and this is the ps sorry, PTS, and we will give the any terminal one or two. So if I will give one, let's this come under this. You can see Linux is really amazing. It's wow working. If you give terminal 2, it will redirect to terminal, means your output not only, so you have where you want to do redirection of your output, where you want to do redirect, where from you want to take your, what you can say, your input. You have complete control on input output redirection. So by this I'm going to stop here. I will see you next class with the new topic that is called uh, piping. That's going to be awesome and powerful. Bye bye, see you in next class.